Hey everyone, it's the one and only magnificent bird, Beak, speaking to you today. And in today's video, I am back at it with another spoiler review. And this spoiler review will be on The Walking Dead Daryl Dixon Season 3, Episode 4, episode titled Border Justice. So, before we get into it, I hope all of you are doing good and staying safe out there. And like always, if you like the video, make sure to hit that like button and leave a comment down below. And if you aren't subscribed already, feel free to hit that subscribe button and turn on all notifications so you don't miss, so you know the second that I upload to YouTube. And if you want to share the video, that'd be great too. And if you do any of those things, that would be very much appreciated. Now, yes, is this the best episode of Daryl Dixon Season 3? So far, I'm going to say yeah, because, well, we've got an action-packed episode, that's, that's for sure. So far, I mean, after this episode, we have technically two more episodes. We got episode 5, 6, and 7. So yeah. And just wanted to say, my Patriots, they whooped ass today. I know I said I wasn't going to talk about the NFL. I usually don't. I mean, I keep track of it, but I don't. You know, that'll be the only mention of it. They whooped the Carolina Panthers 42-13. I think the final score was, because the last time I looked, because I was at a friend's house and we were having taco salads and stuff for dinner, and the last time I had looked at the score, it was like 35-6. So, and right before I hit the record button, I looked at the final score. Yeah, it was 42-13. So, yeah, we're 2-2, and that's pretty much all I'm going to say. You guys aren't here for the NFL. You guys are here for the spoiler review and to hear my thoughts and all of that. So, if you are not caught up on the Daryl Dixon series, now is the best time to go ahead and click off the video, come back and get caught up, and come back if you would like to. But if you are caught up and you have seen the episode, or you just don't give a damn about spoilers, you may stay. But for those of you that are clicking off, I do appreciate your time, and thank you, and I'll catch you guys next time. Now, let's go ahead and get into the spoiler review in 3, 2, 1. Alrighty. The Walking Dead Daryl Dixon Season 3, Episode 4, Border Justice spoiler review. Here it is. So, remember at the end of the last episode where Justintina's willingness to go in Alba's place is but the surface of one chaotic and multi-layered episode in Episode 4. Hints are being dropped slowly as to why Uncle F and Antonio don't want Justintina and Roberto to be together as a couple. So we kind of delve into that a little bit. So let's see. Let me go through these notes of mine. Let's see, where do I want to start off with? So yeah, the episode. Okay, so yeah, this is a great place to go ahead and start. So obviously, Roberto is visibly upset that Justintina was willing to go in Alba's place back to El Cazar. So yeah, so he ends up going to Uncle F's place, banging on the door, demanding, I want to know what the hell happened, I won't leave until you come out. And Uncle F, who is obviously upstairs inside looking down, and I'm sure he's hurting a little bit that his niece is no longer there. But yeah, Roberto is visibly more upset and angry about this, obviously. So yeah, so Uncle F, who keeps a more calm demeanor, even though, I'm sure he is hurting that his niece is no longer there. He had promised Justina's family that he would look after her, but he has yet to reveal why he forbids her from being with Roberto. We don't get the full exact reason as to why, but we get a little hint as to, maybe why. So Daryl and Carol are getting all the shit that they need to get in order to go fix that boat. So, ready to leave, Daryl and Carol pack their belongings, trekking towards the shipyard where the lighthouse keeper Valentina, oh yeah, the old lady that likes to kiss multiple men in front of everybody. So that's how I'm gonna remember her, even if I forget her name. Oh yeah, I'll be like the one that likes to kiss one man, and then the next, just in front of nobody, she gives zero fucks. That's how I'll remember her, right? So Valentina is waiting for them with some of her men. Together, the group begins patching and preparing the boat. So yeah, they're getting the boat ready, repairing it and getting it ready, yada yada yada. That's kind of the first 10-15 minutes of the episode are nothing really happens. The majority of it is Roberto is angry about Justintina. Daryl and Carol go and get the boat prepared, and they try to go get it fixed, and they do. And then so Valentina she ends up learning that Roberto won't be going, because originally Roberto was going to go with Daryl and Carol to go get the boat fixed, but due to recent events, he's like, yeah, I can't live without Justintina, So he's not interested no more at the moment. So he's not really interested at the time. So yeah, Valentina is a little saddened to know that Roberto won't be going with Daryl and Carol back to America. And, of course he refuses to leave without Justintina, just like I was saying. And Valentina insists they take Cooper, one of her people, with them, because he was from the California area and he would like to get back to California to see who he can find. And I don't know, well, Cooper, even if spoiler alert, Cooper doesn't make it out of this episode, as we will get into, but even if he did, Cooper, I don't know if you would find anybody in California, man, based off of Fear the Walking Dead. I don't know, but I never watched it. But like I know that Fear the Walking Dead started in California, but then they ended up making all their way all the way to Texas. I believe one episode, or not one episode, but one season was in Mexico, I think, or they were close to Mexico. I don't know. I didn't watch that show, or I don't remember that show very well. I didn't yeah. Anyway, so yeah, Cooper doesn't really make it, because he says something about, at one point, this is where the shit begins to kick off. So Cooper says that he's a banana slug. I was like, what the hell is a banana slug? You know what? It's not, I don't think it's important, and we don't find out, because next thing you know, an arrow just whizzes out of nowhere and hits Cooper right through the chest. And what do you know? We got the return of those, that group with the animal bone masks, and Daryl and Carol, Valentina, and like a couple of her people. They dispatch of that group with, mostly Daryl. He's being a badass man. He has a hell of a shot with that rifle. So yeah, so right before that, Daryl and Carol are having a conversation about how Carol finds Roberto and Justintina's romance intriguing. Not intriguing, but, like, she finds it. Hold on. Wait a minute. I have it here. What does she say? Okay, Carol, here we go. Carol explains that she believes how beautiful and rare that she finds Roberto and Justina's romance, and then that's when Daryl believes that their troubles do not concern them. He just wants to get the hell back to America, back to their own people, which I kind of don't blame him, but like, you got we got one more season, so they're not they're obviously not going anywhere anytime soon. So and yeah, so that's when the animal, well, right after that, that's when the animal bone masks people, they actually have a name. They're called the Primitives. So the Primitives, we find that out later, but at the time they still don't have a name. Daryl and them, Daryl, Carol, and Valentina, and the ones that are left alive, take care of them. And then, well, the animal bone masks people, the Primitives, they decide to take a trip to the village, and they try to attack the village because you hear this bell just a ringing. It keeps on ringing and it keeps on ringing, and that's when Valentina figures that the village is being attacked. So that's when Daryl and Carol go back to the village, and you got all this crazy shit happening. The Primitives, they pull up to the gates, and that's when you got Uncle F, and you got just pretty much everybody at the village. They all have rifles, sniper rifles. Hey, they're all fighting to keep their place from intruders, right? So yeah, okay, so yeah, Daryl and Carol help. Okay, so yeah, Daryl and Carol, they fend off the Primitives on the beach where the boat is. So now, okay, so now Daryl and Carol manage to return to the village in order to help in the fight, which takes countless no-name lives. And Uncle F, he ends up actually getting wounded. He ends up getting stabbed in the kind of the upper chest, kind of lower shoulder area in the fight. And Roberto nearly gets killed because he goes off on his own during the fight, and two of the Primitives, they have him cornered in an apartment or whatever, or a little house. That's when Paz saves his help save him from dying, which he and she's got this whip. She thinks she's like Indiana Jones or some shit with this whip. She gets this whip, and yeah, she disarms one of them, and Roberto, he kills one of them, and there's another one, but she throws like a knife or whatever at one of their legs, and he just like pushes the Primitive out the window, and there you go. So like, and then Daryl, he's, ooh man, he's a hell of a marksman with that rifle, and Carol's just bam bam just hitting them headshots with that pistol. She's only got a pistol, and she's going around. Oh man, and they also, Uncle F's people, they also opened the gates to where the walkers were to hope to try to slow some of the Primitives down, and one of them actually gets bit by one of the walkers. And Roberto got saved by Paz, and the fighting appears to last for a while because like there's just a bunch of them. There's just a bunch of them that keep on coming, and you know, so the sun is about to set when the fight is almost over. And so while the fighting is happening, Roberto tells Antonio, his father, that he's going to check on Alba and her mother, but that's a barefaced lie because during all of the fighting and chaos of everything that's happening, he's looking to get the hell out of there to go try to find Justina. So like he's getting ready to get the hell out of there, but then what stops him in his tracks is because all of a sudden it's like so quiet. It seems like they've given up. Oh no, the Primitives, they haven't given up, but instead they have what's one of those things called, it's not, they're not common anymore, but when you put like you might put like a big ball of metal, and you might set it on fire, and you might shoot it off, like it's like the part that you want to go be flung up is like low to the ground, and you pull a switch and it, yeah, it catapults. That's what it is, a catapult. I was trying to think of the name of it. So there's a fiery catapult that just sends fireballs swooshing into the village, and well, somehow the Primitives have got fiery walkers into a catapult. Yes. I wish I was making that up. I don't know. We haven't seen anything like that in The Walking Dead. They have somehow, I don't know how in the hell they got fiery walkers into a catapult and just they shoot them over to the village, hoping that, they'll kill the remaining of who's in the village and all of that, right? So, yeah, so they're all fighting, and Uncle F, he's still hurt. So by this point, Uncle F uses a Gatling gun from the windows of the homes to finally win the fight with one surviving primitive. So Daryl is chasing after, like, the primitives are trying to escape because once they see that Gatling gun going off, some of them that are still there trying to fight, they're dumb enough to walk into it and they just get blown away by the Gatling gun. But there are, like, I think one or two of them that's actually kind of smart, and they're like, well, we know we might as well get out of here and survive instead of dying, shit. So Daryl, he goes after them, and Paz follows closely behind, and that's when Daryl, he ends up catching up with one of the primitives, and that's when when Daryl and Paz bring the primitive member that was trying to escape for questioning. And so, yeah, so Roberto kind of makes a good point as to, El Cazar, they're supposed to offer us protection if we trade them our women. And he's like, what good is that protection doing us now? Because we were nearly killed by these crazy fucking people. And okay, so Uncle F kind of has a point. If they didn't have all of those weapons, if they didn't have that Gatling gun that was provided by El Cazar, the results might look they might look a little different. So both of them kind of have a point, because it is like, come on, like, you're trading the women of your village to be married off and never to be seen again. Like, morally, yeah, that's fucked up, but like, it's like, I don't know. It's not so clear cut in this situation, even though, like, yeah, it all comes down to El Cazar is pretty much like the fucking mafia, where they will go to businesses, except in this case communities, and they will say, give us, protection money, blah blah blah, and you give us a cut of your profit and we'll protect you. But in this case, instead of El Cazar, aka the mafia, wanting money, they just want their women, and they're like, yeah, we'll give you, we'll offer you protection. But in this case, they're giving them supplies and weapons. And but when they need El Cazar, where the hell are they? They don't. So it's like, I don't know, man. Like, the whole thing about, well, El Cazar was like, well, we want y'all's women, but we're going to give you weapons and food and supplies. And, well, Uncle F also, like, if they didn't have that Gatling gun, would they have won? I don't know. Maybe more people would have died. So it's like, damn, it's like, I don't know, what do you guys think about it? About that whole situation, about who do you think is more right, Uncle F or Roberto? I don't know. I don't know how to answer that one. You know what? Both of them have a point in this situation. Like, Roberto is like, what good does that protection from El Cazar's, supposed alliance do us? But then Uncle F is like, well, if we didn't have that Gatling gun, we might not be standing here right now. I don't know. Both of them have a point, honestly. Like, I don't know. But, okay, so here we go. Okay, so after the battle has settled down, and obviously Uncle F wants answers, and we find out as to why the primitives attacked. And, well, Uncle F wants to know, who are they working for? Who do they serve? And the primitives know that this village has an agreement, an alliance with El Cazar. And what it comes down to is the primitives say they work for no one, and they just want to cause chaos. They want to watch the world burn, just like the Joker from The Dark Knight. That's what that reminded me of. They don't have a specific reason as to why they attacked the village. They just wanted to do it because they see a chance for, they just want to watch shit burn. They just want to cause chaos. You know, they're crazy like that. They would rather not want the village standing than they would just to leave it alone. Just because, like, it reminds me of the Joker, definitely. Heath Ledger's Joker. He doesn't have a reason as to, he just wants chaos. He wants to watch the world burn. The same with the Primitives. I was like, yeah. I was like, do they just want pure chaos? They're not doing it for a specific reason. They don't have an ulterior motive. They want chaos, and yeah, that's pretty much what it was. They want chaos. They want to watch everything burn, you know. So there you go. That's the Primitives' reasons for attacking the village. So, Uncle F's means of protecting his people, however, may come at the cost of Roberto. When a call comes through that another vehicle is approaching, this is one of the Primitives' vehicles, but it's not. It's Roberto actually trying to get the hell out of there. And with the vehicle approaching, Daryl and one of Uncle F's men prepare to take it out, but Daryl quickly sees that it's Roberto driving it, so he puts his rifle down, and he's just gonna let him go, whatever, you know. But Uncle F's man, he's still got the rifle pointed at it, and Daryl stops him and lets him go. And, well, when we get back to it, Uncle F's man that was going to take the car down, well, he's pissed, and he supposedly says that, oh, I was just aiming for the tires. I don't know about that, man. Oh man, I don't know. Is it possible that Uncle F ordered his guy to kill Roberto? Maybe. Uh I don't know, man, the because it seems like Uncle F and Antonio, they have some sort of old grudge. It doesn't seem like they like each other very much. And I think that's part of the reason as to why they don't want Roberto and Justina to be together romantically. So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe Uncle F was planning on having Roberto killed, and Daryl was there to stop him. He claims, "Oh, I was gonna stop him by shooting the tires." But yeah, I don't know. Uncle F, he might not be as forthcoming with the truth, because yeah, he's like, "Oh, he was just going to aim for the tires," and Daryl, like, he's like calling bullshit on that. So I don't know. We'll see what happens with that, right? So yeah, Roberto is gone with the vehicle to try to rescue Justina, leaving Antonio, Carol, and begrudgingly Daryl to go help. Daryl is like, I don't want to help at first, but then he's like, oh, fine, I guess I'll go, you know, because, I don't know, the guy that was supposedly going to stop Roberto by shooting out the tires, he tells Uncle F that something's got to be done. Like, probably referring to Carol and Daryl. That's what I'm assuming he means. So it's probably best if Daryl just, like, kind of goes with Carol and Antonio right now. Because, I don't know, Uncle F might try to have Daryl killed, maybe. So, yeah, so Antonio, Carol, and Daryl go off amidst, they go off, and they end up finding two tire tracks, and Daryl, ever being being a pretty good tracker, he knows, like, he went this one way, and, well, they end up finding a vehicle flipped over, which was, I believe, that was the one that Roberto was driving. But before that, we get a shot of, like, a little camp set in the woods, and it happened to be the people from El Cazar with Justina, and I'm assuming they were just, like, spending the night heading back to El Cazar. And, like, Justina says something to one of the guards, like, oh, I'll be right back or whatever, and she goes to one of the horses that they have there, and she sees somebody looking just off to the distance, and I'm thinking, yeah, that's probably Roberto, but we don't get to see what happens. Next thing you know, Daryl and Carol and Antonio, they find the flipped vehicle, and they also find the compass that Justina had around her neck near the vehicle and the tracks left behind. So obviously Roberto is nowhere to be found, and Roberto has been, obviously, I think at this point he's been captured by El Cazar, and because they show a flashback of a car crashing into another, of one vehicle crashing into another, and we get to see another flashback just momentarily, briefly, just enough to see that Justina is on the ground. She's reaching her hand out, saying no, and yeah, they've kidnapped Roberto. So now El Cazar now has Justina and Roberto. So, oh god. So Roberto, I understand that he's upset about Justina not being there, but he is right now he's a dumbass because like he was trying to go by himself, pretty much like essentially against the mafia, to go get Justina. I mean, they're not outright calling El Cazar the mafia, but I mean, they kind of are in the zombie apocalypse in Spain. So like, yeah, dude, I don't know. You're lucky they didn't kill you right then and there. So, oh god. Yeah, so ooh, there was a conversation that Antonio and Roberto had in the episode earlier, telling him that he's just too young and irresponsible. And you know, Antonio is a little bit right here when he says that, because he's not thinking clear-headed, and he thinks that, oh, I can just go up against the mafia and get my girl back, and nothing bad is gonna happen. It was a pretty good cliffhanger. So Daryl and Carol and Antonio are on the road, and I'm assuming we'll pick right back up with that. And also the guy, the primitive guy that they had captured, you know, Uncle F and you know some of the people there at the village are discussing what should we do about this guy here. You know, how should we kill him? You know, death definitely benefits him right now. He befits death. That's his. You know, that's the way he should go out. And so a couple of the primitives that were killed, but they, you know, their brains weren't destroyed. That, you know, there's a couple of them that turn into walkers, and so Uncle F decides that the guy's punishment is to be fed to the to his buddies that are walkers that they have put in one of the cages, and they have him chained up so he can't go nowhere except he's got to accept his fate and be eaten alive. Damn. So is Uncle F kind of a secondary villain? Maybe, maybe because he might have wanted to had Roberto killed, right? When his supposed guy says, "Oh, I was just gonna aim for the tires." Nah, Daryl's like, nah, he was gonna kill him. So, excuse me. So yeah. So you dumbass Roberto, see what happens when you go after your girl. Now you're with her, and your fate is up in the air. And of course, Carol wanted to go with Antonio because, you know, she, you know, as her being a former parent, she felt like, you know, she didn't want anybody else to lose their kid. You got what I'm saying? So that affects Carol in one way. She's sympathetic toward Antonio, right? Because Antonio asks her, you know, do you have kids? And she's straight up, she's honest with Antonio. She says, no, not anymore. So there you go. So now he knows that she was a parent. So I like that. I like that Carol is like, you know, I was a parent. I mean, she doesn't say it, but just by wanting to help Antonio try to find his son, she's obviously like in her head, yeah, I was a parent and I don't want someone else. I don't want another parent to go through the pain that I went through, especially in season 2. So, yeah. So, yeah, this was, as far as action, it was really good. I definitely, as far as Daryl Dixon season 3, I feel like this was definitely the best episode. I gotta think, was it the best episode even more so than season 2? I gotta think about that one. I don't know, but so far, this has been one of my favorite episodes of the spin-offs so far. We'll see. We got 2 more episodes left. And holy shit, there were a lot of primitives. Like there was a whole bunch of them. Oh my god, they could have overtaken the village if it wasn't for those weapons that were gifted by El Khazar. So, damn. And it seems like maybe Uncle F is obviously he's fed up with Roberto for trying to be romantic with his niece, but it seems like maybe Uncle F is also tired of Antonio and maybe is ready to have both of them killed. Maybe I don't know. That'd be you know it might be a possibility. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. I don't know. Roberto, will you be able to make it out of this? I don't know, man. Will Justin Tina will she be able to make it out? I don't think both of them are going to make it out alive. No, I don't think both of them will die. Now that'd be pretty bad. Ooh, who has the higher chance of dying? I don't. Am I too early to be talking about death predictions? But right now, if I had to go with someone, I would say Roberto might be a goner. I don't know, man. Or do they kill Justin Tina? I don't know, man. I guess we'll have to wait and see. I really enjoyed the episode. I enjoyed watching the action, and I enjoyed the cliffhanger that we got. That yeah, Roberto tried to save Justin Tina, but yeah, him trying to go up against the mafia in the apocalypse. I mean, the El Khazar. Think about it. You just think about their, the way they operate. They are kind of like a mafia in a way. So him going up against the mafia. I mean, they're not your traditional mafia, no, but like how they like to operate. Instead of, oh, we want to take over your store, and if you give us a cut of your earnings, we'll offer you protection. Except it being a store, they want to align themselves with communities for their women, and they'll give them supplies and weapons and stuff. So yeah, I can safely say that I am enjoying season 3 a hell of a lot more than season 2 of Daryl Dixon. Yep, and I like this one episode more so than most of the episodes in season 2 of Daryl Dixon. We'll see how season 3 shakes out. So far, I still like season 1 better, but season 3 isn't finished yet. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see, people. We'll see, everybody. But I don't think I forgot anything other than we got to see a lot of people get killed. We got to see Daryl being a badass with that rifle. Uncle F, he even got into the action and he was stabbing a couple of people and he was smacking the shit out of some people with that damn cane that he had. Antonio got into it a little bit. Hey, they had to all. I mean, what did the primitives think, that they were just going to stroll in there easily and just burn it all? They didn't expect that, oh, they're going to fight back. They're going to protect their place that they call home, right? If they didn't have them weapons from El Khazar, I don't know, the result might have been a little different, maybe. We'll see. But that's pretty much all I got to say on this episode. Like I said, if you have any further thoughts about this episode, more than I've discussed, definitely feel free to let me know. And yeah, I'm going to go ahead and go edit this, and this is going to definitely be out by Monday for sure. It'll be late, not late Monday night, but my time, it'll be well after midnight by the time but it'll technically be Monday. But yeah, that is going to do it for this video. I want to thank each and every one of you for your continued support and for stopping by. And if you're new, welcome on in for the very first time. I'm glad to have your support and thank you for your time. And I am Buck Beak, and I'm going to go fly away back to my nest. Until next time, bye guys.